I was surviving the kidnapping, assault by a group of men, PTSD as a result. Like, I was getting past that and thought that it was handled okay. But then we broached into the territory of the fake pregnancy, the lies and vilification of two favorite characters, the taking out of the girl who was pregnant and losing her child, the Browns coming back because they're the safety committee and trying to take Claire away from Jamie yet again. It's too much for me. I am struggling to get through this one. I said it before, the Outlander series, this is my reread of them. This is very much a comfort read for me in general. I don't think I've told the backstory here, but back the first time that I was reading them, it was actually during the pandemic. In the middle of reading them, my husband ended up getting accepted into physical therapy school. We thought we had till September to move. Turns out the semester actually started over the summer in June. And so it was the end of May and we had like 2 weeks time to pack, first decide we were going, pack everything up, say love you to everybody, and then spend 4 days driving across the country. And it is wild that we accomplished that, but even more so, like I was alone. I had initially 3 months of time, a whole summer to spend with people and, prepare myself mentally for this transition. But instead, we just kind of had to pack it up and run, and we did it successfully, and I enjoyed my time there. But in that first month, we didn't even have our apartment yet because it was the middle of the month, and so we had to wait until July 1st. And so we were living in a hotel. I was working remotely. And so every single day, I would just be sitting in this hotel room. And the only thing that I had as a companion during my day was the Outlander series. And I was listening to it. Davina Porter as the narrator feels so comforting for me and so nostalgic for me, just because she was there with me while I was going through all of this. I'm reading a book in a specific period of life. It is the one time where my memories can take me fully back into that space of life. And this is truly one of those moments where, I believe it's actually book 7 of the Outlander series. I can remember listening to that while taking my showers in this hotel room, getting ready for the day, preparing to work. It's all just wrapped up into this. And while it might seem lonely and I wouldn't like the series as a result, I actually love the series because it feels so comforting and so nostalgic. And I loved our time when we were living in Vermont. And I really, truly just couldn't imagine life without having lived there. It was a very scary time. It was very uncertain, but now it's just something that I adore and I hold dear. All of that said, that was a lot of backstory for me to say. So this is a reread for me. And I am in the middle of book 6. I'm toward the end of book 6, 80% through. And as I was reading, and I was really enjoying all of these little tidbits, this moment when Jamie and Brianna help Jemmy learn how to swim, and he's there with Jermaine, and the two of them are jumping in the water without fear, and it's this really cool moment. And I'm thinking I love these bits of the story. They're just so real and they feel like such a vivid moment. Why didn't I love this book? Why wasn't this a 5-star read for me? And then we got to the second half of the book and to the Malva Christie and to it feels so stressful. It truly feels never ending. And Claire is a modern woman, and no matter how she acts, she's never going to fit in because she won't wear the cap and she won't do the things like that. And so they will stand out and things will come to them as a result. Unfortunately, that means that a lot of negative things will come to them as a result. So I am stuck in this weird place where I want to keep moving because I want to get into further books. I really enjoy the next book and the final one that's released. I want to read more of the novellas. I don't think I've read them all actually. And so I'm looking forward to getting into those. And I really want to get past all of this, but I just can't. Because it's the two forces inside of me. There's the side that is stressed out and is not having a good time reading this story. But then there's the side that loves this universe and wants to keep listening And so I'm trying to find a way for the two to meet. It's like, I heard somebody describe Noah Kahn songs like that, where they're like, love the song, hate that I had to listen to it because it feels emotional and it brings you to a place that you don't love to exist in. And that's what I feel like from this story, is that it is causing me physical pain. And I am trying to like work myself through it this time, because I'm like, they're not real. And even if they were real, this is of the time, so it's not the worst thing that could happen. And someday they're going to get past it. And we know they're going to get past it and it's going to be okay. And I keep like telling myself everything's going to be better. It's just not working. And so I am presently struggling through the rest of this book, and it's not a struggle. And honestly, I'm almost to the part that they're past this. So many details that I forgot about to do with Malva. Like, obviously, she has ties to this bug that was going around, this thing that almost took Claire and her father out, Tom Christie out. Like, it was an illness that put them so sick that they both nearly passed away. And I know that Malva had something to do with that, but I totally forgot the details. In fact, I forgot that Claire had been on death's doorstep and that she literally had to decide to get back into her body and keep breathing. It's just all of these little things, all of these little branches out from this main story. I don't remember ultimately what happens when they find out the truth behind Malva and the Christies in general. And so I look forward to getting back there and refreshing my memory on that. One other detail is that I am realizing, so the show doesn't really talk much about Claire's magical healing powers. And I don't know how they could without taking this from the territory of historical fiction into something that was way too magical. And crossing those bounds. And so I know why they did not. But it's tough because it is so cool. There's just this extra layer throughout the entire series when Master Raymond comes and helps heal Claire after she loses faith and after she was like going to not be okay. He uses a blue healing power. And, in the show, he talks to her about how her aura is blue and she's not realizing the connection between the blue and the blue healing power. And when they first make it to the ridge and the native woman tells her that when her hair goes white, she will be fully within her healing powers. And you slowly see these nuggets that are really starting to pick up. And I feel like this is something that I missed from my first read, because it actually happens in Crombie when his mother-in-law, it was Crombie's mother-in-law, I believe, when she comes awake after they thought she passed, and she's about to pass because of an aneurysm inside of her stomach, inside of her abdomen. And Claire can feel that. And Claire has always had this like healing where she can like put her hands on somebody and she kind of connects with their body and kind of feels where they're at in terms of life or not. And it's something that she had kind of done with Jamie, and that's why she knew that he was like on death's doorstep. And when she is also sick, this is very rambling, this is very jumping, but when she is also just recovering after coming off death's doorstep, and she talks about this point in time where she like grabs onto Jamie and she can feel his energy like channeling into her. And then there's this funeral where she has her hand on the woman because she's feeling her pulse in her stomach and she's waiting for it to happen. And then as this woman ends up passing, as the aneurysm ruptures and she can feel life draining out, and she literally like gets taken inside and is feeling the death happen. And it increases, it happens more so because she talks about when she's taking the baby out of Malva and she feels this vibrant blue light, and then it goes bright and then it fades away. And she keeps just picking up on these little healing power moments. And I had forgotten how prevalent that was in this story. And that is such a big part of her character, that she is not just a time traveler, that she has this healing power. And I know in the further books, she uses it more actively. More than anything, I'm picking up on these things this time, and I am determined to make some really good theories about what's going to happen in book 10. because I just feel like there is so much groundwork that has been laid that I missed entirely before this. I'm nearly finished with Outlander book 6 and am eagerly moving forward to book 7. The upside of reading a series like this that is so long and so drawn out is that when you get to the later books, so the first books, it actually took me books 1, 2, 3. I was waiting in line at the library to get those on my Libby. It still took me 4 to 8 weeks to get each one of those books. And when you get into these later books of the series, they're more readily available, fortunately, because not as many people have made it this far. So I'm very much looking forward to moving past this and getting to the end of the Stephen Bonnet saga. And as always, I thank you for spending a little time with me in my book corner. I am still struggling to have clear and cohesive thoughts and find what kind of stuff you guys like to watch. We're figuring it out. Thanks for hanging out.